What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be working on this 2010 Jeep Wrangler. So this is my son's car. He just came home for spring break from college. We were doing some routine maintenance and noticed that the front of the engine was saturated with oil. After looking around, we noticed oil right here where the valve cover gasket is. So we believe that it is worn and needs to be replaced. We're going to be doing the passenger and the driver's side today. Okay, so to get to the gasket, you're going to want to remove all of these bolts. These are 8mm, and there are 4 going across the bottom and 4 going across the top. You're going to want to remove this hose and get it out of your way. You're also going to want to remove this bracket that holds your spark plug wires. This thing is in the way from getting to the back too. Once you remove that bracket, I found it easy to use a swivel adapter to be able to reach back there. You're also going to need an extension and a long socket. Those back 2 bolts are going to be the hardest ones. This side in particular is going to be the hardest one. The driver's side should be easier. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing off, and we'll be right back. Okay, so when you're unscrewing these, the bolt will not come off by itself. The whole thing will spin, and that's normal. That's what's supposed to happen. So once you loosen all 8 of them, then you can pull this thing out. And as you can see right here, this one is cracked. It's also cracked down here. This one is cracked all the way, so I'm pretty sure that's where the oil was seeping through. So now we can go ahead and replace the gasket on this side. So this is the brand that I'm going to be going with. This is a Fel-Pro. I got this from a local parts house. I saw good reviews on this one, so I'm going to try it out and see how well it works. Okay, so hopefully this is a better angle showing what I was talking about, these bushings. You can see one side is flat, the other side has this little ring on it. So you're going to want to put it the same way. This little ring goes up against this part, prevents it from coming loose, and then the flat part sits on this. I set all my bolts close to where I took them out of. You want to keep track of where you took them out, because they're going to go back into the same holes. Some of them have just this little bolt head on it. Some of them have threading. So depending on where you took them out of, you're going to want this back in there. Some spots are a little tighter than others. You don't want to put this, actually it probably won't even go back in, just because this is so tall versus this in some of the spaces that are closer to the engine. So you're going to keep these where you got them from. And then on the bottom, you're going to see this groove. So you're going to take your gasket. Your gasket should have a lip on one side, and it should be flat on the other. So the groove, or the lip, is going to go inside the groove. You're just going to line it up and just make sure that it goes in all the way around. Just press down on it kind of firmly. Make sure it's on there. Make sure the surface, this flat surface, is clean, no debris. We're also going to go on the other surface and wipe that down. So this thing should stay on there once you put this gasket on. The bolts will go in last. We're going to set this in place and then put the bolts in there one at a time. And you're going to thread them by hand first. You got to be careful with those threads since they're small bolts. You can cross thread and damage something. So always thread by hand first and then tighten it down with a wrench or something. So let's go ahead and clean the other side and then we'll put that on. That's it for this side. Just gonna put this hose back. Put the cap back on. The spark plug wires are zip tied back to that bracket. So we're done on this side. When I tighten these, I was alternating different screws. You don't want to tighten all one side at the same time. You want to kind of jump from side to side. So on this side, we're going to remove this spark plug terminal block. We're going to take this bolt off and this bolt off. Once we take those two off, we're going to remove this hose up here, connects to the top of the valve cover. Now we got to take off this bracket. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 bolts, 2 on the top and then 2 on the bottom. So in order for me to get back there where these other screws are going to be at, I am going to have to remove these spark plug wires. So what I went ahead and did was I taped them off and labeled them. So if you look on this terminal block, you'll see these numbers. These wires need to go back exactly where they were. So 5 to 5, 1 to 1, 3 to 3. I'm going to disconnect these and this plug back here so I can completely remove all this and I can have better access. This plug right here has a locking mechanism that you have to push in with a screwdriver before you can squeeze this and pull it out. So you don't want to break this. Okay, so now this thing can come out. Let's see what this gasket looks like. So yeah, this one was ripped also. It's cracked right here. Makes sense because both sides were saturated with oil. So we're going to go ahead and replace this gasket now. Okay, let's go ahead and wipe this down. Alright, so we're all done. This side was not easier. There's more stuff you gotta take off. I would say they're both equally as difficult. This one might be just a little bit more, but anyway. Yeah, so that's it. If you guys got any questions, feel free to leave some comments below. And I will be working on the Camaro next. I got some stuff that I need to install on that Camaro. Just kind of diverted to this because my son just got home, like I said earlier, and he needs to get back on the road. I wanted to make sure that he was good to go. So I'll see you guys on the next one.